I never thought I would find myself in such a situation. Life has its ups and downs, but what I experienced that evening was the most painful blow of all. It all started on an ordinary Sunday, which promised to be nothing special until it turned into a nightmare. My girlfriend, Emma, had always loved football. She never missed a match of her favorite team and sometimes even traveled to away games. I didn't mind. Everyone has their own interests. I was never particularly passionate about the sport, but I respected her enthusiasm. However, lately, I had started to worry about the way she spoke about one of the players, James Carter, the star striker of the local club. His photos often appeared on her social media, and when I asked if she was too obsessed with him, Emma just laughed and said she simply admired his game. That day, James's team was playing an important match. Emma had bought her ticket in advance and headed to the stadium, full of excitement. I decided to stay home. Football didn't interest me, and I planned to have a quiet evening. However, something was bothering me. My intuition told me something was wrong. When the match ended, Emma didn't hurry back. I sent her a few messages, but there was no reply. Time passed, and my anxiety grew. Deciding not to torture myself with guesses, I called her. She didn't answer right away, and there was something strange in her voice and nervousness she was trying to hide. She said she was staying over at a friend's place because they had decided to chat about the game. I didn't believe her. I knew her friend Sarah wasn't into football, and something about Emma's excuse felt off. So, I decided to check just to put my mind at ease. I remembered that I still had a spare key to our place, one I had meant to give to Emma but never did. If she wasn't home, then I had nothing to worry about. As I approached the house, I saw that the lights were on. My heart started pounding. I walked up to the door, inserted the key into the lock, and to my surprise, it turned easily. I stepped inside and immediately heard voices coming from the bedroom. A man's voice, laughter, then muffled sounds that were impossible to misinterpret. I felt paralyzed. I took a few steps forward, pushed the door open, and saw something I would never forget. Emma was lying in my bed with James Carter. The room fell into silence. They froze, shocked by my sudden appearance. Emma gasped, sat up, and started stammering something, while James just stared at me, as if assessing the situation. At that moment, a wave of fury surged through me. What the hell? I choked out, barely holding myself together. Emma tried to pull the blanket over herself, her face pale. It's not what you think, a broken bar. But I wasn't listening anymore. I took a step forward, and James stood up too, ready for whatever would come next. It felt like, in just a moment, we would start a fight. But I was too disgusted to even touch him. Instead, I turned around, walked out of the room, and slammed the door behind me. Behind me, I could hear Emma calling my name, but I didn't care anymore. I knew this betrayal would change me forever. And the scariest part was that I didn't know how to move forward. Rage boiled inside me. I needed to do something to cope with the emptiness and betrayal I felt. And then it hit me. James had a wife. I had heard about her in passing. Her name was Natalie. We had even met once at an event. Now, I wanted her to know the truth too. I got into my car and found her address on social media. 20 minutes later, I was standing outside her house, shaking with a mix of anger and anticipation. I knocked on the door. A minute later, she opened it. Tall, elegant, with dark hair and piercing eyes. There was surprise in her expression. Yes, we need to talk. It's about your husband. I expected tears, anger, a scandal, but Natalie just calmly stepped aside, letting me in. She took 2 sips of wine and sat across from me, watching me intently. Go on. I started talking, not choosing my words carefully, just pouring out the truth. When I finished, she remained silent. Then, slowly, she stood up, walked over to me, and placed a hand on my shoulder. Well, looks like I've joined your club of the betrayed. Funny, isn't it? I just nodded, still unable to believe her composure. But then something unexpected happened. She leaned in closer, her lips just inches from mine. "You know a broken bar," she whispered, "sometimes revenge can be sweet." I felt her breath, her gaze was confident and determined. For a second, I hesitated, but then something inside me snapped. All the tension, the pain, the anger, it all blended into one moment. I pulled her closer and kissed her. My relationship with Natalie turned into something more. We became each other's support, helping to heal our wounds. A few months later, I realized that I no longer thought of Emma with pain. Her image had faded into the past, becoming just another chapter of my story. And Natalie, a broken bar, she turned out to be more than just a beautiful and confident woman. She was the one who helped me believe in real feelings again. One evening, as we sat on the porch of her countryside home, watching the sunset, I took her hand and realized that our meeting had never been a coincidence. Sometimes, fate breaks us so that we can rebuild ourselves. And perhaps, with Natalie, I had found my true future. A month later, I moved in with her. Our bond deepened, and everything felt right. One evening, as we sat by the fireplace, she turned to me with a nervous but excited smile. "I have something to tell you," she said, taking my hands in hers. "I'm pregnant." 3 weeks. A mix of emotions surged through me: a shock, joy, a touch of fear. But above all, I felt an overwhelming sense of love and purpose. We embraced, holding on to each other as we absorbed the reality of our future. The following 9 months were a journey of anticipation, love, and growth. We prepared for the baby together, decorating the nursery, choosing names, and cherishing every small moment. I watched Natalie glow with happiness, her strength and grace making me admire her even more. We supported each other through the ups and downs, doctor visits, cravings, and sleepless nights filled with whispered dreams about our child. When the day finally came, and Natalie went into labor, I was by her side, holding her hand through every contraction, every breath. And when our baby finally arrived, a beautiful little girl, I knew my life had changed forever. Looking into Natalie's eyes as she held our daughter, I felt a love deeper than anything I had ever known. Life had taken unexpected turns, but in the end, it had led me right where I was meant to be, with my family, my true home.